Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm working on MODA Blockheads 5, Week 8, Block 7. This week's block comes to us from Sherry McConnell of Sherry and Chelsea. They're fabric designers, of course, from MODA. These are all MODA fabric designers if you're new to this program. And I love their fabrics. They're up there in my top 5 MODA designers. They have a new line coming out in January that I'm really excited about called Strawberry Lemonade. So I hope you'll check that out. I'll have some in my shop when that comes in. It's just beautiful. The Sherry made us a very nice and easy block this week. All it is a few half square triangles and a few flying geese. So here it is. So go ahead and download it and then we'll get started. Okay, so here is the directions for this week. Blockheads 5, and this is block 7, The Summer Star by Sherry McConnell of A Quilting Life. And it's a really simple block. There's 4 half square triangles in the corners made out of 2 sets of 4-inch squares. And then you have 6 flying geese to make up this block. So depending on which colors you pick is going to depend on how simple or hard this block is. If you want to make this whole thing scrappy, that would be an easy way and not have to think. You can make the whole inside of your star, like the star part, all one color, and these outside pieces one color. You can use 4 different colors. They have 4 different shadings, which is what I did. Anything you want, and then depending on how you turn these will change the look of your block as well. I didn't want my darker pieces towards the outside, so I put the background piece towards the outside when I did a couple sample ones. So that's going to change the way my block looks versus the way your block looks. So just have fun with this one. If you've got pieces left from every week that you want to use to make it scrappy, I think that would look really, really cute. So the only thing we have to do is make some half square triangles and some flying geese. So we're going to do one of those each together. So I'm going to start with my half square triangles. So this is the color I used for my half square triangle. And I'm going to lay my background fabric on there. I already drew a line from corner to corner, so now I'm going to sew on each side of the line 1/4 inch from that drawn line. And then we'll cut that apart and trim it down to 3.5 inches square if you're doing the 12-inch block size, which is what I'm doing. So we're going to go ahead and cut this apart on that drawn line. Okay, and then we're going to press these, and I'm going to press them towards the darker fabric. The finger press them first, and then I'll get out my iron. Make sure that thing's hot. So we only have a few more weeks left, I think. If this is the 7th block, we only have like 2 more, I think. I think there's 9 blocks, and with the autograph block it was 10. So 2 more weeks to go after this, and we'll have all of the blocks done. And then hopefully they'll give us the setting instructions after that. You could make a bunting, a table, I believe it was a table runner, a lap quilt, which is what I'm going to make. I just love these Christmas fabrics, and I really wanted, you know, a fun little Christmas lap quilt to have on, like either lay at the foot of my bed or put on a chair or something like that. So, yeah. Okay, so these we're going to trim down to 3.5 inches square if you're doing the 12-inch size. And these are going to become our the corners of our block, so the corner units. And you're going to make 4 of these, 2 sets or 4 finished half square triangles all together. So what I would do is, if I was doing the whole block with you on camera, is just do them both at the same time and make all 4. That'll make it go quicker for you at home. Okay, get that scrap out of the way. Alright, so there's my half square triangles. Now I'm going to set those aside for a minute. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make my flying geese. Now, these are all going to be the same no matter what fabrics you pick. The flying geese are all going to be made the same way. Depending on what fabrics you pick is what you have. Like, some of mine have the white background, some of them have print, but I was going to keep a couple of them out and show you, but I decided that it doesn't make sense to show you because mine are going to be completely different than yours, depending on the fabrics you picked. So I'm going to go ahead and sew these up. So I'm going to start with one side, and I've already drawn a line corner to corner on the back of my square. And I'm going to start in the upper left, sew to the middle. Then I'm going to trim this away, flip it, press it, and then do the other side. So that's just your classic flying geese right there. The nice thing about this block is if you haven't done half square triangles or flying geese yet, which you probably have because these are kind of the basic building blocks of quilting, but or if it's been a while, it's really good practice. These are, you know, important blocks to know for quilting. Many of the patterns have half square triangles and flying geese, so okay. Alright, now I'm going to trim that piece away if I can find my ruler. There it is. Just had it. Alright, there we go. Okay. And now I'm going to press this. I'm going to finger press it first. And then go ahead and use my iron. Okay, now we'll do the other side. So it's just the same thing except the opposite side. So instead of starting on the top left, I'm going to start on the top right and sew down this way. Alrighty, trim that away. And don't forget to make 6. You're making 6 flying geese for this block. Or if you decide that you don't want to have the flying geese in the center and you just want one solid piece, you can change this up a little bit by making the center piece a solid 6.5-inch square and just make your 4 flying geese around for the star. Legs, if you want a little bit simpler of a block, you can do that too. Don't forget, this is your block, your quilt, so change it however you like or whatever you're most comfortable with. Okay, so that flying geese is done. So I'm going to grab all my pieces here. I've already finished the one that's going to be my bottom row. This guy's going to make up my top row. which means I need my half square triangles to be lined up here. Now the pattern shows the darker fabric to the outside like this, but I wasn't loving the dark on the outside, so I'm going to put it right up against my prints. That piece is going to make up, these are going to make up chevrons if you do it according to the pattern with the 4 different colors, although you don't have to. Again, make it your way if you like it. And then I've got my bottom piece down here. And then this one here. Let me move all this up. So there we go. So this is what my star is going to look like. I like it like this, but like I said, the pattern does call for it like this. And if you do it like this with the background touching the prints and the dark out, you see more of the star. But I kind of like it with the dark green against the prints. I think that looks really pretty. So I'm going to leave it that way. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and sew these together. First, I'm going to start with these center 2 right here. Okay, so that's my center. Now I'm going to add these 2 on. But first I'm going to go ahead and add these on because I'm going to press all of that before I go to the next step. Okay, so now this guy needs to be pressed and this guy needs to be pressed. So I'm going to press them both. Okay, that's going to be my top row. And then I got to give this guy a press. This one doesn't really matter which direction you press it. I'm pressing the top and bottom row in, the sides in, and then I'm going to press this middle row out so they all nest. But this part of the middle row just needs to go one way or the other. Oh, don't you love it when your points match? Those points matched up really nicely. Really happy about that. Okay. Now I've got that one done. All I need to do is join these 2 to either side. And then I'm going to press these ones out because I pressed the top and bottom in. And don't forget with these flying geese to sew them from the flying geese side. That way you can see the little X where the fabric crosses, or the thread crosses, and sew just on this side of the thread where the X is. That way you don't cut off your points. Very easy to do on flying geese. I feel like that's the easiest block to cut off your point. those came out well, so I'm happy with that. Now I'm just going to press this piece and then put the block together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flying geese. All right. Now I can put my whole block together. And one last row here, and then we're done. Again, I'm sewing with the flying geese on top so I don't lose my point. Alrighty there. There we go. So there's my block for this week. I guess it doesn't matter which way it's up. I just need to give it a good press and then it'll be all done. Well, thank you, Blockheads, for joining me this week. This was a fun block. Very cute. I love it. It doesn't look as much like a star because I turned my darker pieces in, but I still like it just the same. I really like how the 4 different colors came out. If you want it to look more star-like, definitely turn those outside pieces and have your background touching your star. We have so many stars, and I thought, well, I really like it this way. And there's really no other stars, and I'm actually looking on the board behind me there. I'm talking to you guys, that had those outside pieces. So I felt like when I put them in the quilt, they might look like they're just kind of floating out there for no reason. So I turned them for that reason, and I really like how the block looks. So I'm happy with that. All right, well, thanks for joining me, and I will see you next week for block number 8. I can't believe we're almost done with part 1 of MODA Blockheads 5. Don't forget, there's only 2 more blocks. Then we'll do the setting. Then there's a break. Then we have a break until January, which is really nice with the holidays coming up and all those things that are going on for the holidays. So definitely stay tuned after those few weeks, and I will definitely show you how I set my quilt in a follow-up video after the blocks are done. But I will be back in January with the second part of MODA Blockheads 5. So I'll see you guys next week, and until then, have fun, have a great week, and happy sewing. Bye!